Hello all. In this lecture we will see about scope and storage class in C. So this is the outline of this lecture. We will see about scope, then we will see about storage classes. We have four storage classes in C. One is automatic, register, static and external. So scope. It is a region of the program. So scope is a region of the program over which the declaration of an identifier is visible. Then it is known as scope. So it is a region of the program. So we have seen uh, different types of variables. So we will be declaring some variables inside the function. We have already seen that the function, whatever that is defined inside the functions will be visible only inside that function, particular function. So if you are declaring something, some variable in the main function, it will be visible only in the main function. So it won't be visible in the function sub functions. And also we have already seen this global function, global variables and all. So the scope defines a region of program over which the declaration of an identifier is visible. So that is known as the scope of that program. So it can be related to the accessibility. So where all that variable can be accessed, or it can be called the period of existence. So how long it will be existing, or it can be called the boundary of usage of those variables. So what is the boundary of each variable? So these features will define whether a variable is local or global in nature. So we have two types of variables. One is local variable and global variable. So local and global variables are actually related to the lifetime of that variable. So lifetime means it is a period during execution of a program in which a variable or function exists. So it's a lifetime. So there is a lifetime for a variable. So it will be existing in the program for some time. So how long that variable will be existing will define the lifetime. So based on that lifetime, we have local variables and global variables. So we will see an example of this lifetime of this variable or scope of this variable. Then you will understand. So I have a program. So we have a prototype that is declared, function prototype. It is void return type. It is exchange function, which has to supply two integer variables. Now this is a main function. We are declaring two variables. So this is local variable. We are using two local variables a and b. So this is local to this function. So we have already seen if it is declared a and b, this is visible only inside this function. So we are initializing those two variables a equal to 5 and b equal to 7. Then we are printing that variable in main a equal to percentage d and b equal to percentage d. We are simply printing that value. So 5 here it will be 5 and 7 will be printed. Then we are calling this function. Since it is void function, there is no return. So we are exchange a comma b. So we are calling this function. So what it does is it will be exchanging these values. Okay. So a should become 7 and b should become 5 in this function. So we are simply calling this exchange function. So we will see this exchange function. So here a is 5 and 7. So a is 5 and 7, and this is a function. There is a temporary variable. This is a local variable. This temp is a local variable which is local to this exchange function. So this is visible only inside this exchange function. Now we are printing this printf in function before exchange. So this slash is used to denote that the next line is also belongs to this printf line. So we are printing this a and b. So if we print this a and b, so we are printing a equal to and b equal to. So a is 5 and 7. So we are printing this value. So a is 5 and 7 will be printed here. Then after that, what we are doing is we are storing a value to temp. So it will be temp will be 5, and we are assigning b value to 5, b value to a. So a becomes 7, and after that temp is assigned to b. So temp is actually 5. So b value becomes 5 now. So actually they have exchanged these values. Now A is 7 and B is 5. So initially A was 5 and B was 7. Now we have exchanged those values. Now printf in function exchange, after change we are printing these two values. So if we print A and B, it will be 7 comma 5. So they have exchanged the value. So it was initially 5 7, now it is 7 5. Now we will use that return function also, even though since it is void it is not needed, but I am including this return. So it will be returning to the main program. So it will be going to this statement. So there is no value that is received. Now printf back in main, what it does is we are printing these values. So here A and B value will be printed. So even though inside this function A is 7 and 5, but if we print this value here, A is actually 5 and 7 will be printed, because it is 7 and 5 won't be printed because A and B are local to this function, and similarly A and B are local to this variable function. So no exchange will be found out. Okay, will be done here. So if you run this program, if you compile it and run this program, you can see that no exchange will happen here. So if you compile, so if you see this program, so in main it was 5 and 7. In function exchange, before change main, from A main it will be A and B it will be 7 itself. Now after exchange it has been changed to 7 and 5, but when we return to main, A is 5 and still 5 and 7, because that exchange won't be visible there. So that is lifetime of this variable A and B. Lifetime of A and B ends here inside this function. Since it's a local variable, that lifetime or scope of that variable A and B, these two variables are within this function only. So it won't be visible outside the function. So that is known as scope of the variable. So since local variables have local scope, it is visible only inside this function. And similarly, these A and B are visible only inside this function. So that is why this exchange is unknown to this main function. Okay. Now this is local variable. Now we can use global variable. So we have declared main function and we have declared two variables int a and b outside the main function. It is, so these two variables are called global variables. Now these two variables are visible in all the functions, in the main function, in the exchange function, whatever functions we write. If you are writing some other function also, we can use the same a and b variables. Okay. Now in the main program, what we have done is we have initialized a to 5 and b to 7, and we are printing the same value here. So it will be 5 and 7 will be printed here. Now we are calling this function exchange. So exchange, and we are not passing any value. We are simply calling this function. So it is void only. We are not sending any function. So simply we are exchanging to, we are simply calling. We are not passing any values there. Now inside this exchange, this is void function. Now we are declaring a term. This is the same program. Now we are simply printing a and b value here. So even though we are not passing any value, a and b have some value because it is global variable. So that 5 and 7 will be printed here also, even though it is not passing this value to this exchange function. Since it is global variable, it is visible to this function also. So a and b and 5. Now we will be exchanging this. Now after exchange, if you print this value, now it will be 7 comma 5. It will be 7 and 5. So it will be exchanging those two values using these temp value. We will be exchanging and will be getting 7, and we will be returning this. I will write the return also. I will return this, and when it returns here, after that exchange back in main, again if we print this, now the value would have changed to 7 and 5, because a and b, whatever changes we make inside this function, it will be visible here also, because a and b are global variables. So it is visible to all the functions. So if you run this program, you can see that that change is visible in the main program. So it was 5 and 7. Before exchange it was 5 and 7, and after conducting this change it will become 7 and 5, and in the main program also it is this change is visible in the main program. 7 and 5 is visible. So that is the use of global variable. So global variable is visible all throughout all the functions. Whatever functions we have, it is visible to all the functions. Okay. So this is known as local and global variables. Okay. Now we will see another thing. So it is local and global variable example we have seen. Scope rules. So the scope is the region of the program over which the declaration of an identifier is accessible. So that is known as scope. So we have the that period or boundary. We have four scope rules. So scopes can be of four types. One is block scope. Second is file scope. Third is function scope, and fourth is function prototype scope. The scope rules have four types. There are four different types of scopes. Okay, four different types. One is block scope. So we will see an example for this block scope, then you will understand this block scope. So I have a function hash main function here. Then here I have declared an x variable. So x and initialized to 3. Now I am printing that variable. In outer block I am printing x, sorry, it is x. So in outer blocks x equal to percentage d. I am printing that x value here, and if you print this, x value will be 3 will be printed. Now I am including simply two braces. So within that braces, so this, if we are including something inside a brace, it is a block. So these two braces will be considered as a block. So these two braces, these lines will be considered as another block. And I am again declaring this x variable and initializing it to 5. Now inner block, if I print this x, sorry, if I print this in inner block x equal to, and if I print this value, then x value will be 5. X value will be 5. So this will be a block. Now again, after coming out of this braces, again I have a printf statement. In outer block, I am again printing this x value, and if I print this, x won't be 5, x will be 3, because this is known as block scope. So block, within each block that variable will be visible. So this x is actually different from this x. So this x scope is limited to this block. Within this braces only this will be there, and this x will be visible within these two braces. Okay, so if I run this program, you can see this. So in outer block it's x equal to 3. Here x equal to 3, and inner block it is x equal to 5, and again in outer block x is 3. So whatever changes in this x, it is not visible outside, because this is known as block scope. Within that block it will be visible. So block can be anything. It can be a function also. Okay. So block can be anything. So within whatever we include within a brace, it is known as block scope. Okay. Second is function scope. So second is file scope. So sorry, the second is file scope. So this means that the identifier can be used anywhere in the current file. So file scope and all we won't be seeing in any programs. File scope means whatever programs, whatever values, whatever variables we use will be visible all throughout the file. So global variable, so we have already seen that example. So global variable is an example of that file scope. Okay, global variable. So we have already seen that global variable. So global variable is an example of that file scope. Then the third is function scope. So this is actually not the function scope. This is actually the go-to. We have already seen this go-to label. That label is visible only within that. That name is visible only within that label. So that is known as function scope. Okay. Then we have function prototype scope. Function prototype scope. So we have already seen different functions. We are declaring some prototype here. So if I am declaring something like R here, I am using some variable names also, T. So this is known as function prototype scope. So prototype scope means the R and T we are declaring, so we are declaring that prototype here, and the scope of R&D ends here itself. It is not visible outside. So this is known as function prototype scope. So it is limited to that prototype declaration only. So outside this R&D won't be visible. So this is known as function prototype scope. So there are four types. Block scope we have already seen. File scope, that global variable is an example of file scope. Then function, that is label, go to label. When we studied go to statement, we have seen that go to label, that label name is visible only for that go to. So that is known as function. Then we have this function prototype scope also. Then function prototype we have already seen. So whenever we declare that function prototype, that scope, whenever we declare that variables inside that prototype, it is visible only within that prototype. So that is known as function prototype. Okay. Then next topic is storage class. So storage class variables that are declared by the type of data. We have already seen each variable will have some data type. We'll be using int a, means a is an integer type, or float b, like that we'll be declaring. So variables are declared by the type of data, and variables may be stored in a register or memory. So we have already said that all these variables will be stored in some memory location. Okay, variables may be stored in memory location, but it may be stored in register location also. It can be stored in registers also. So there are storage class specifiers. In addition to the data type for variables, we can use the storage class specifier. The storage class specifier is to indicate whether the variables would where the variables would be stored. So whether it should be stored in register, or whether it should be stored in memory, or it's also used to indicate how long they would exist, how long that variable should exist, whether it should be existing all throughout the program, in all the functions it should be existing, or it should be existing only inside a block, like that. So how long they would exist, then what would be their region of existence, what is the region, whether it should be existing only within a particular function or only within a particular block. So all these will be specified using the storage class specifier. So in addition to the data type for the variable, and also it also indicates what would be the default values also. So storage class also indicates all these things will be indicated when we use the storage class specifier for each type of variable. So if we declare int a, it specifies it is an integer type. In addition to that, we can specify the storage class also. It denotes, one thing it denotes is where it should be stored, whether it is in register or memory, then how long it should exist, that is a lifetime, then the region of existence. We have already seen the region of existence, block scope, file scope, like that different scopes are there. And also the default values. So if we declare a particular variable, what will be the default value it will be taking. So all these things will be denoted by the storage class specifier. So there are four storage classes in C. One is automatic, register, static, and external. Automatic, register, static, and external. So now the variable declaration will be like this. So storage class specifier will be used. Storage class specifier will be auto or register or static or extern, extern. Okay. Then the usual data type and variable name will be used. So we will see the different four storage classes. So this is a general declaration type. So storage class specifier should be mentioned, then the data type of that variable and the variable name. So automatic, by default all variables declared within the body of any function are automatic. So whatever declarations we have till now seen are known as automatic. Okay, so we'll be using the keyword automatic. So we can explicitly declare it as automatic also. So if we see this example, int main, we are declaring explicitly as an automatic variable. It is not needed, even though we are not using this variable auto, we are not using that name also. This means it is an automatic variable. So this is I and a, this is inside a block. So this I and a are also automatic variables. Okay, I and a are also automatic variables. Okay, So we can explicitly mention as automatic if we use the keyword auto. It is by default it is automatic. Okay, we have already seen different variable declarations. So we can use the keyword and declare explicitly like this, or we can simply use. So I and a are also automatic variables. Okay. Now we have used a equal to 3. Now we are printing it a. Now it will be 3 here. Now we are declaring I and a, and then we are printing inside this block. So this inside this block a value we are changed it to 5. So a 5 will be printed. Now I am printing the I value. So I has no value here. So what it takes is it will take some garbage value will be taken. But when I am using this online GDB compiler, it will be printing 0. When you are using some other compiler, it will be taking some garbage value only. So garbage value will be something like this. Some value will be taken. So it will be printing some garbage value. Then after that we are again printing this a value. So here it will be 3 will be printed. Okay, so this is actually, even though we are not even if we are deleting, we are not using this auto keyword also, this will be default, it is auto variable. And also we can use like this also, or also if you want you can declare this like this auto. There's no difference in making whether writing auto or not. So if you run this program, so if you run this compile and run this program, you can see this. So all these values will be printed. So it is compiling and running. Now if you see this, initially a was 3. Inside that block it is a equal to 5, and here I equal to 0 is printed. Actually when you use some other compiler, it will be some garbage value that will be printed. It won't be 0, it will be some garbage value. And here 3, a equal to 3 will be printed outside the last statement. It will be 3. So you can either use auto keyword, or you can simply avoid this keyword also. Then also no problem, you will be getting the same result only. So by default all variables are auto. Okay, so that is automatic. Then the second type of storage class is register. So register we have already seen when we learned the first module, when we learned about CPU and all, we have seen registers. So it is used to define a local variable that should be stored in a register inside of RAM. So instead of storing in memory, so all automatic variables or the local variables will be stored in the memory, or the primary memory, or the RAM of the CPU. But if we want to store it in registers, so there are CPU registers are there. So registers are faster than this RAM. So if we want to make it a little more faster, we can store those variables in registers. So we have to simply use the keyword register. So can't have the unary and operator, because if we are using register, then ampersand operator will not be used. So we will not be able to find the address of that variable. Okay, so variable has a maximum size and it will be equal to the register size. In previous case, if it is an integer variable, its size will be 4 bytes like that. But here if you are declaring it as register, then it will be having the size of that computer will be, if it is 32-bit computer, 32 bits can be stored like that. If it is 64-bit register that is being used, then we can store 64 bits. Okay, so this way we can declare. So instead of declaring int a, we have to use the keyword register int a. So this means this a is an integer variable and it should be stored in register. It should not be stored in RAM. And one more thing to note is, even though we declare like this, it may not be storing in the register. It may sometimes store in the memory itself. Even though we declare like this, it depends on the computer. The computer has the power to decide whether it should be stored in the register or main memory. So, but you study like this, if you declare like this, if you use the keyword before a variable declaration, this will be stored, a will be stored in a register variable. And you cannot use this ampersand a, because we don't know the address of that register. And also maximum size of this, it won't be 4 bytes, it will be the register size. Register size may be 32-bit long or 64-bit long register. Okay. Then the third type of storage class is static storage class. So static storage class. So static, it instructs a compiler to keep a local variable in existence during the lifetime of the program. So all throughout the lifetime of the program, that local variable will be there in existence. So then it is known as static. So allows them to maintain their values between functions calls. But for when we make a function call also, if we have declared something as static variable, that value will be stationary itself. Between function, when you switch between function calls also, that value changes will be visible all throughout the lifetime of the program. You will understand when we see an example. So it can be applied to global variables also. It is applicable to local variable as well as local variable. So when static is used on a global variable, it causes only one copy of that member to be shared by all. So it is a single copy that will be shared by all the functions. So we will see an example, then you will understand this static variable. So I have declared static. So you have to use this keyword static. So you have to use the keyword static for that. Static int count. Now count is an integer variable and it is a static variable, and this is a global variable. It is a global variable also. Okay. So it is a global variable also. This is a static variable, integer variable. Count is an integer variable and it is static and it is a global variable. So it is visible all throughout the function. Now I have declared a void show function here. Now printf, what I am doing is call percentage %d. So percentage %d will be replaced by count. So there is a default value for this static function. So I think I have written no. Okay. So actually there is a default value for the static function. So default value of static function, whenever we declare as a static function, it will be 0. It will be automatically initialized to 0. But in the case of local variable, we have already seen automatic variables, it will be taking garbage values. It won't be initialized to 0. Only in this compiler, it will be 0. If you look into other compilers, it will be some garbage value. But in the case of static value, whenever we declare a variable as count, so it will be automatically initialized to 0 also. So this will also be down. It will be like this. So 0. So when we print call, 1 will be printed. Call 1 of show will be printed, and we are calling this show function here. So we are calling this show function and we are having a static int I value here. So here I will be automatically, since it's a static variable, I will be automatically initialized to 0 also. Now we are printing this inside call percentage %d. We are first calling percentage %d, call count. So count will be printed. So count is a global static variable. So it will be 0 and I is 0 will be printed. So call 0 and I equal to 0 will be printed. Then after that I is incremented here. I becomes 1 here. Then after that again it comes here. Now count is incremented by 1. So count is again incremented. Count was initially 0. Now count is 1. Now we are printing here call percentage %d. So call 1 will be printed of show. Again we are calling this show function. Now it is this I value will take the previous value. I value was 1 here. Now if we print again, it will be call percentage %d. So it will take, it is a global static variable, so it is visible all throughout the program. So count is 1 now. So 1 and I is previously it was 1, so that will be visible also. So 1 also will be printed. So it will be continuing like this. Okay, it will be printing like this continuously. So if you run again, after that again count value is incremented. So count is 2, again is here, it will be printed 2, then again show here. So again it becomes 2 comma 2 will be printed. Okay. like that it will be going on. Okay, here it will be incremental also. So if you run this program, you can see this. So if you run this program, it is compiling. So you can see this, the output like will be like this. So static, if you are declaring something as static, it will be visible all throughout the functions. All throughout the functions it will be visible and it will be seen all throughout. Okay. So that is the use of static. Okay. So external variable, then it is used to give a reference of our global variable that is visible to all the program files. So if you are declaring as external variable, so external variable will be visible to all the files. So if we have two or three files together forms as program like main.c, like that, there are different files. Then all these functions, if we are using this extern keyword, then a particular variable will be visible in all the C files. So it points a variable name at a, and it cannot be initialized also. No values can be given to that external variable. It points a variable name at a storage location that has been previously defined. Extern is used to declare a global variable or function in another file. So this variable might be used in some other file. Okay, then we can use this extern keyword. Okay, so that is about external. Okay, you have to use external. We won't be much using this external and all. So this is the difference between all these. So in specify, if it is auto, it will be in primary storage. Initial value will be a garbage value, and scope, it is within that block of that program, and lifetime is end of that block. If it is register, it will be stored in CPU register, and garbage value, initial value, it will be a garbage value within that block and end of that block. These two are almost same, but only thing, the difference is primary and CPU register. Then the static, it will be stored in primary. Initial value, it will be initialized to 0 and it will be visible within the block, and end of the program. Till the end of the program it will be there. It won't be, no, not till the end of the block, it will be end of the program. As long as that variable program exists, that static variable will also be there. Similarly, extern, it is primary and 0. It is visible to scope is global multiple files. There will be multiple files will be accessing, and end of all those programs that extern value will be visible. Okay. So that's all. Thank you.